All right. So this is a retreaded take that I've given before, but I think that it kind of fits into what I've said before. I think that warlordism, or a form of it, is going to be the future of the United States. The reason I say this is because, you know, I don't think this is just conspiracy theory, but I feel like there's a lot of drama and hate that goes back and forth across the United States. There's a lot of elitism. I'm going to go ahead and show an article right quick here from The Nation. Case for blue states secession. I've hinted at it before, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Let me go ahead and share the screen right quick here. I'm going to go ahead and click off some other bullshit first. There we go. Okay, now we'll go ahead and share the screen. Now let's go ahead and do this right quick here. I'll go ahead and hide that. Okay. So this is The Nation, the case for blue state secession. It's the only way to ensure democracy and equal justice, not just for blue state residents, but for citizens in all 50 states. So this is from just last month, February 10th, 2021. Okay. I'm not going to read through every single bit, but yeah, Armed Mob, blah, 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 Capitol Hill. Twice in the past 20 years, GOP candidate who lost the popular vote took the presidency in 2020, came uncomfortably close to making it the third time. Majority of the population controlled the Senate for the past 6 years, during which, in combination with a minority elected president, blah, 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 blah. Okay. We're getting to the good stuff here eventually, given the undemocratic power. So now he's just laying out all the events. Trump dismissed New York's request for ventilators. Oh, are we really going to defend Cuomo and all that other stuff? Come on, man. All right. I know. He's not defending Cuomo. I know. But still, we have other states to take care of, something that he never would have said about any other state. The venal absurdity of our institution was reflected in the fact that while New York was devastated early on, initial congressional bills disproportionately sent money to hospitals not in New York or other hard-hit areas, but to sparsely populated red states. Once again, the elitism drips from this guy. The venal absurdity. Oh, once again, the thing is that I think it was China, and I said this in a video just last year, but China gave, I think it was 1,000 ventilators, and they were meant for Oregon, I think, but then they gave them to New York. This guy doesn't want to talk about the failure of the state of New York and their failure to deal with these issues. And people like Governor Cuomo, who had huge problems. So this is already bullshit. But yeah, you can see the elitism that flows from this guy. The venal absurdity of our institutions was reflecting the fact that while New York was devastated early on, initial congressional bills disproportionately sent money to hospitals not in New York or other hard-hit areas, but to sparsely populated red states like Nebraska and Montana. Once again, this is the whole screw the Nebraska and screw the states of Nebraska and Montana because they're just dumb hicks. Basically, is this guy's attitude. Oof. And this all happened as wildfires raged up and down the West Coast without significant federal help because, according to the former top Trump aide, California didn't support him. He's being honest. Once again, you think that politicians haven't done this before? Thing is, I'm just using this article as an example to show the huge divide and the elitism that exists. And kind of proves my point that, yeah, warlordism is going to be the future. Rockefeller Institute of Government found that over a period of 5 years, New York taxpayers sent $142.6 billion more than the federal government than they received back in federal spending. New Jersey received a similar 91 cents in federal. Yeah, once again, this is the whole idea that, well, blue states send far more taxes to the federal government than they receive back, and it all goes to red states. Ugh. So here we go. Our system converts right-wing bias in political power into economic transfers that undermine blue states. Now, ultimately, what he's saying is, especially when we get to the end of this, and I'm going to skip down here pretty soon, but the idea of this is we don't want recession, or we don't want secession, but we're going to threaten it so that we can force change. This is a 3D chess and how it works, apparently. The fact that our presidential elections are determined by the outcome of the Electoral College, once again, how dare these states that want representation, how dare they, undermine the thoughts of the people. Once again, this goes to show how little they care. And you can think as you want to about people from, Nebraska or Montana or South Dakota or wherever, or Wyoming. But to undermine their representation and to say they're not worth as much as people in California because there's more people out there than there are in Wyoming. So screw them. I think that's kind of what they're saying, but ultimately they're not going to say that. And if you ever push them on it, they'd be like, no, I support, these states and whatnot, but there are more people out there. So we have to, once again, it's the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and maybe I'm being somewhat schizo here, but golly, huh? 28 of the 50 states home to blah, 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 blah. Don't worry, we're skipping down. But it gets worse. Thanks to the Senate's bizarre filibuster rules. Oh, once again, the filibuster. Oh, you think that both sides, the Democrats and Republicans use the filibuster, but okay. Political math is rarely that raw, blah, 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 blah. Even with Democratic caucus, this gives smaller states disproportionate power. Yeah, that's the whole idea, is giving minority some sort of answer. Like I say, I can't believe I'm defending the federal government or the federal system to try to give, more representation. Ah, yes. Who represents one of the smallest and whitest states in the nation. Ah, the fact is that white supremacy is embedded in the U.S. policies since racial minorities make up 44% of the population in the 10 most populous states, but just 18% of the least populous, which have disproportionate voting power in the Senate. Oh, I love that. This makes it seem like this guy's a Fed because of how many times they've used this picture. Oh my gosh, he's holding a Confederate flag. Oh, it's so pitiful. Anyway, this anti-democratic constitutional system are not just financial. Blah 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 blah. ICE agents, Orrin Hatch of Utah, pro-labor laws. Break it up. Here we go. Yeah, secession, division, and history of America's imperfect union. 1925. Yeah. Break it up. The first popular disunion movement in American history, developed in the North, not the South. It was abolitionist leader. Burn a copy of the Constitution declared the only remedy in our case is a dissolution of the Union, arguing that the threat of secession by the Northern states was the only way to end the tyranny of slavery. If secession seems extreme, it's no more so than the millions of undocumented families fearing forcible separation by ICE. You don't care about those folks. You are using that as a talking point. You don't care about those families. It's no more extreme than the steadily rising economic and racial inequality we face. And it's definitely no more extreme than the body count we face from climate change, one that, if left unaddressed due to the political malfunctions of our Constitution, will make COVID-19s look minor by comparison. Some argue, including the pages of the Nation, that secession would abandon tens of millions of progressive red state residents, including large numbers of Black and Latino voters, to the mercies of Republican abuses. Even during the peak of the, I'm skipping. Don't worry. I'm trying to read through this bullshit. As a united sovereign nation, blue states would not just be able to immediately improve conditions. United sovereign nation, blue states will not just be able to immediately improve conditions. I need some sources on that. Hold on. We're doing quiet time. We're doing some quiet time, okay? Yeah. Okay. Not just be able to immediately improve conditions. Press X to doubt on that. For their own residents, but also send the hundreds of billions of dollars in the new budget surpluses. The thing is, what makes you think that the federal government would allow you to spend hundreds of billions of dollars? You seceded from the United States. People would probably say, no, that's not necessarily legal tender. So, no, this is nonsense. This is complete idiocy. I mean, I'm not even this stupid. And I'm pretty damn stupid, but holy shit. United sovereign nation. Hundreds of billions of dollars would be spent. Oh, my goodness. You think that the United States wouldn't, they impose IMF rules on every nation that doesn't agree with them. Why would they not impose IMF rules on you? It doesn't make any sense, does it? You think that they were cruel to the South, and the Confederacy? Wait until you see what they're going to do to you, Oh, my goodness. For their own residents, but could also send the hundreds of billions of dollars in the new budget surpluses, which they would no longer forward to D.C. directly to blue cities and rural blue counties. Why would they do that? The thing is, you think that people wouldn't stop them from getting this red state money? There's a lot of there are more holes. There are more holes in this than Swiss cheese in this argument. Without the Senate veto, blue states could raise new revenue by increasing tax rates on the wealthy and corporations. Okay, whatever. This guy is, I think, part of the DSA as well, which tells you a lot. Blue states would also be free to use trade policies to demand improved labor and environmental standards in red states as a condition for importing goods. Why would they do? Once again, this is some 3D, 4D chess sort of, galaxy brain thinking that will never happen. Why would they? Once again, this is all threatening secession. This is all nonsense. Yeah, you're going to force labor and environmental standards because you secede. No, they're just going to invade you. The 3 million strong military and the countless numbers of folks who are going to be called up, and the reservists and the ex-military folks who are going to be called up to say, yeah, we're going to invade California because they threatened to secede, or wherever. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to just let you secede, idiot. Golly. Strengthening labor rights in blue states would give unions greater resources to support the workers. Oh, my goodness. This is just idiocy. Blue state secession would also bypass the neo-Confederate drag on U.S. foreign policy. Yeah, right. Which is pushed for disengagement from international agreements, fighting global inequality and climate change. Like Scotland's independence movement in the United Kingdom, whose goal is not a narrow nationalism, but to become part of a greater unity with the European Union. Once again, I don't know what left-wing person who's legitimately left-wing who would support the EU in any stance. It is a neoliberal hellhole. It's an organization. The EU is something that undermines nations. Undermines, unions, undermines, costs and everything else. This is absolute nonsense. No, yeah. Given that blue states have higher growth per capita, 2020, okay, because that other one was like 2017, and disproportionately drive economic dynamism. You think that would change once you seceded, yeah. Dynamism of the current economy, from technology to medicine to creative industries, a blue state nation would likely attract parts of the red state nation from which it has seceded, especially those parts that have formerly been swing states. Holy crap. One scenario would thus be a negotiated reconstitution of the United States along more democratic constitutional lines. This is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. I can't. If I was more intelligent and I had more experience, I could tell you why this was absolute crap. Okay, we're skipping down here. Similarly, a modern campaign would use local referenda on secession to spotlight the just claims. Once again, this is a thought experiment. This is like what lawyers use to counter arguments of the opposition. This is what lawyers do. This is the devil's advocate position. He's not saying he supports secession. He's just saying is that secession will bring up all these other issues, when in reality, the United States is not going to see things that way. The federal government is not going to see things that way. They're just going to say, no, you get your ass back here, or else we're going to invade you. And if you think that, destroying, the destruction of the Confederacy was bad, wait until we come in. Abolishing the Electoral College is far more straightforward. States representing a majority of the electoral votes can do so through the National Popular Vote Act. This is ridiculousness. Once again, this is you get into the percentage voting, and I can't think of what it is now, but to achieve this goal, aligned groups that have seen their agendas die in the Senate would need to unite. Yeah, right. And do serious organizing state by state through meetings, letter writing campaigns, and public referenda. People would need to demand that state leaders either fight for equal representation for blue states or threaten secession. Once again, these folks have the backbone of a pretzel, as I remember hearing it from Law and Order. But these folks do. They have the backbone of a pretzel. To think that they would actually threaten secession. You think that AOC, if they didn't get what they wanted, would say, yeah, we're going to threaten secession. No, they're not that stupid. Holy shit, this is idiocy. Absolute idiocy. That bill could include a proviso suspending the state secession right as long as the upper chamber changed its rules to allow approval of legislation by senators representing a majority of the population. Yeah, I'm going to need to see what you mean by majority of population. Here we go. Severability clause. This would be a potent threat to make the Senate and Supreme Court think twice before trying to reinstate minority rule. No, the thing is, you're just going to be arrested. This is not a threat. The whole thing is, if we don't get our way and if people don't do things about climate change, then we should threaten secession. No, that's just stupid. I'm just telling you right now, that's just stupid. The federal government is not going to allow that. Why would they allow that in any way? That's not even me defending them. That's just me saying is that, no, there is no way any politician would be that stupid. For all the talk and all the bluffing and all the tough talk that these folks do, they're not going to be stupid enough to do that. We face a mounting constitutional crisis, one that in turn amplifies the crisis of voter suppression, racial and economic inequality, and climate change. And once again, climate change is probably going to affect California, Texas, obviously, the West Coast and East Coast, and just any coastal states are going to be far more affected than, states like Wyoming or Montana, which is why he talks about them in such an elitist way, like, oh, well, they're just dumb hicks anyway, so who cares about them? Ultimately, building a serious blue state threat to secede is the only way to end this crisis and create a nation based on equal representation for all. Holy crap. That is some idiocy. Let's look at some of these comments. Take the money and run. We don't need you lot. Yeah. And PhD and holier than thou studies. Yeah, there's a lot of folks. Yeah, I looked you up, Nathan. Yeah, DSA. We don't care about DSA, though. They're cringe. Insufferable twats. Yeah. Does it need a translation? If the wind were colors and the air would... I don't care about that. Absolute nutso stuff here. Gone. Yeah, this is nutso stuff. Bye-bye. Yeah. Good idea that it will never happen. The Republicans all vote together. The Democrats never. Just look at all the naysayers who commented on this article. Yeah. interesting and compelling article. Fortunately, I do not have to suffer from the appalling lack of commitment to democratic ideals. The current situation is counter to the oft-repeated slogans that the USA is the greatest democracy in the world. Yeah. The Empire Strikes Back, the largest voter suppression campaign. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, New Zealand is so much better. Oh, give me a break. This is once again, you just want to dab on the US. Fine, if you want to do that, but don't try to claim New Zealand is so much better. Kiwi. All right. Solution is neither blue nor red state secession, but the solution is secession. Yeah, open any state. Article 51 in the EU. Yeah, the EU is not the US. Okay. Yeah. Let me close the damn door again. Hold on. Okay. All right. Texas can have its way and go. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. As for the Blue Islands, they could become great trade centers in Red Sea. Austin, Atlanta, St. Louis, our brothers and sisters trapped in red hands. But this is the shitlib argument, isn't it? This is the DSA shitlib argument that this idiot. I'm okay with having some wealthy state money go to poorer states. Yeah. More tax money per capita is returned to the red states than the blue states. The rest of the article is fair. Yeah. I'm okay with having some wealthy state money go to poorer states as long as they don't then attack me and my state for being successful enough to say, oh my goodness, this is the capitalist argument, isn't it? Oh, don't attack us because we're, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Don't attack me because I'm rich and you're not, idiots. Exactly. I don't even want thanks from them, just a democratic system that allows the majority to enact policies. Oh, biting the hand that feeds you. Yeah. Oh my goodness. These comments are hilarious. Okay. I've talked enough about it. I spent 22 minutes on that, but it goes to show that even shitlibs in some way are talking about this issue of secession. So I don't see some united fascist country. I don't see that. I see countries I see areas that want to become their own countries. And you see these blue state folks who think that, well, we can survive on our own and we can immediately we can immediately make things better. As if they're not as corrupt as red states are. I mean, it's just ridiculous, like I say. But warlordism, much the same way as what China did, as what China endured in the 1920s and 30s, is the future of the United States, in my opinion. There is no United States, literally. The states have never been united. It has always been a compromise and if we do this for you now, then we're going to make deals with you and everything else. It has never been united. It has never been some, grand thing. And I say this saying is that I'm going to say in the U.S. because this is the only country I know. And I don't, like I say, I want to repeat this over and over, but this is all I know. Why would I want to go to another country where I'm never going to be seen as one of them? I'm never going to be Chinese. I'm never going to be Japanese. I'm never going to be Filipino or European. I'm not, once again, just because I'm white does not mean I'm European. I think that a lot of this 2014 bullshit is gone. A lot of this alt-right sort of talking point where it's like, pan-Europeanism. No, that's dead. Nobody wants Americans, and I don't blame them. And all I can do is just learn to play whatever game is going to be about. Period. I don't really see a lot of positivity coming from the future of the United States or a particular state within it. I see a country that's going to kick the can down the road. until things continue to get worse. Whether it's climate change, whether it's whatever. And you're going to see outright secession that will occur. And I don't think that the United States military or the various government agencies have the ability to take care of it. They don't. You're talking about a military right now that has 3 million. Let me make sure here that I'm looking at it. Let me make sure. I don't know, it's Google. Size of the U.S. Armed Forces. Yeah, what is it? Roughly active duty. Let me see. This updated January 8th, 2021. So fairly good. Yeah. Army active duty, 479,000. Okay, in all. Let me see here. This is Statista, so fairly good. Let's add these numbers up here right quick, though. So 479,000. So nearly 480,000 in the active duty Army. Marine Corps Reserve and Marine Corps active duty, 186,000 troops. I mean, so let's add these numbers up real quick. I'm just gonna. This is already a long video, so we'll go ahead and cover this. But yeah, 479. I'm still showing. Oh no, I'm not showing the screen good. 479, 785 plus 336, 392 plus 332, 528 plus 327878 plus 282884 plus. Sorry about that. 186009 plus 107197 plus 102415 plus 97703 plus 40830 plus, and the last one is the Coast Guard Reserve, 7,629, 2,301,250 servicemen, active duty, National Guard reserves, 2.3 million. 2,301,250 troops. Now, minus the folks that recently separated and folks that maybe Vietnam era folks, how many would be willing to go back into uniform and would even join the U.S. military? That's a whole other kettle of fish. But that's not that much compared to a population of, 350 million or so. Let me see here. U.S. population. Let me double check here. U.S. population 2021. Let's see here. Rough. 331 million. About. 331 million. So, and then of course, you do have police forces and you do have sheriff's offices and all that, which may bring you up to 3 million or maybe 4 or 5 million, depending. But still, is that really the strength that you need? And of course, I think that the threat of drones is real, but I think that there are enough smart people out there and enough cagey people who are smart enough to be like, we can figure a way to take out these drones. And once we do, and once people that really want to overthrow the system learn to overtake drones, then, they're going to hold these various areas, So, yeah. I mean, for me, like I say, I just see secession. I see balkanization that will occur in the United States. I do not see a country that can hold as one. And as we saw in this very dog shit article, which is just, like I say, it's purely, well, if we do these things and we use secession as a threat, you think that they won't just invade? I I don't know. I just don't see it. The United States has far more to fear from collapse than it does from any external enemy. That's always the truth. We have far more to fear from not giving people what they want than from some unknown, you know, force from, some invading force of China and Russia. China and Russia, China more so, uses soft power much better than the United States ever has. Russia will use military force as needed, but I think is trying to use soft power as well. So, I mean, it's just, like I say, these are ridiculous sorts of things. No, Red Dawn was a movie. The fact is that secession and these beliefs that the United States is going to hold together are nonsense. They are. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Warlordism, and indeed more of a post-Qing dynasty sort of future for the U.S. is the reality. And from there, I don't know, you got me. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed that. See you later. Goodbye.